So today is going to be my first time walking on the treadmill in almost 10 months. So I've been doing my PT exercises. I've done a little bit of practice walking inside of my apartment with my rollator, and then I moved up to my forearm crutches, and I'm feeling fairly steady, hopefully steady enough to get on the treadmill. So this is the next step in rehabilitating yourself, in going from wheelchair to walking. And so how I structured this the last time is that I started off with very short increments. So 30 seconds, a minute, did that for like a week or two, or until it started to feel easy, and then I would bump it up by 30 seconds to a minute. So what I have found is that in the beginning, you tend to need to increase in smaller increments, and then as you get stronger, you can generally increase it by a minute, maybe a minute and a half after a week, or maybe even a little bit longer. So today I'm going to aim for 30 seconds to a minute at a pace that feels comfortable for me. Usually, trying to think what it was when I started, I want to say maybe like 1.2 to maybe 1.4, maybe 1.6. And then when I was doing better, it was like 1.8, maybe even 2. This treadmill does not have any incline. I can't change that on this treadmill. It's a very cheap treadmill, but it gets the job done. So the only thing I can change is the speed, which is fine. So that's where I'm going to start today. Hopefully I don't face plant into the treadmill, and if I do, well, it'll be all over YouTube, I guess. So wish me luck. All right, actually, before I get on, so it's probably a good idea to put this on yourself. I don't, never have, but if you feel you need it, use it. And you probably should also have somebody around when you do this for the first time. I also don't have that luxury, so we're just gonna wing it. Also, when you're walking for the first time on a treadmill, it's very important that you hang on to these railings. Stepping out of the treadmill for the first time, you are not going to be stable enough to do it without any hands. So, all right, here we go. Okay, actually I need to go a lot slower than I thought I did. This is only at a speed of 1 mile per hour, and this feels pretty comfortable. Might even need to drop it down to 0.8. So what I'm working on right now is my stride, so doing a proper heel toe strike, and also posture. We don't want to be hunched over like this, but if you do need to put more weight on the railings, you may need to hunch a little bit, but I feel like I'm far enough along where I can start to stand upright. And so now we're at the minute point. I'm feeling okay other than my left knee, but I'm going to try to go for a little bit longer, and then we'll call it a day. And another thing you can do after you've stopped the treadmill is to just stand for a little bit to get in some more practice in strengthening your legs. Now you could also do like calf raises and things like that. I do that on my alternate days of cardio. I'll put that in quotes because I don't know if 2 minutes classifies as a cardio workout. And then my heart rate isn't too bad, 100. that's it. And then carefully get back to your wheelchair using the treadmill railing as support. And so that's it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see how I feel tomorrow. So if I'm in a lot of pain, then that tells me that 2 minutes, even though it felt good while I was doing it, was too long, or I stood too long, or whatever. So you have to dial it back. With rehabilitating yourself, it's different from training yourself as an athlete. So as an athlete, you're pushing yourself basically to the point of muscle failure or just a little bit before. When rehabilitating yourself, that's not the goal here, because you will end up either injuring yourself or putting yourself into a really severe flare. So you want to push yourself just enough that you are progressing strength and endurance wise, but you don't want to push yourself so hard that you're continuously putting yourself into flares. So it's a very delicate balance, and as someone who used to be an elite level athlete, it's hard to dial it back, right? Because now you've got a taste of, physical freedom, and so you just want to go, right? You just want to be done with this. You want to be back to your normal self. But I still unfortunately have pain because part of my problem is still not properly corrected, and so I still have to maintain this balance of pushing forward but not pushing too hard. So hope this helps, and excited to start walking on the treadmill. All right, bye.